Ruffles.
Did you see him walking behind Kevin?
No, I was looking at the Ruffles.
Oh, I thought you said Scruffles.
No, I was looking at the potato chips. And
sounds about
then
right.
I was very confused by the walking potato chips.
Well, welcome everybody to our bi-weekly session of our Dungeons and Dragons Dark Tower campaign. As always, I don't own any rights to Stephen King's materials. I'm just using it and creating my own world for it. If you don't like my homebrew rules, well, you can fuck off because I don't care. So last session, you guys made it to made it to the mountains. You found a druid circle and a couple people got answers to some questions. Some were about the man in black, but others had some other questions. And then he bade you follow him into a mine, at which point, after some travel on a mine cart and some bad rolls by a rogue, one by one, you plummeted into the chasm below the mines, except for F, who managed to survive somehow. At which point you had a little chat with the man in black. He read your tarot, and after the tarot reading was done, he touched your forehead, which gave you a vision of the tower, the earth, and all the multiple dimensions kind of existing within each other and stuff like that. And then your vision faded to black. And that is where we left off. So F, as you come to consciousness, you are still at the campfire.
Don't you need the 20?
You can see the campfire is long dead at this point. It seems like it's been dead for quite a long time. Across from you, where the man in black sat, is actually a skeleton.
All the way to the bottom.
And the skeleton is wearing clothes that are
top-sided.
skeleton is wearing clothes that are the same of what the man in black was wearing. And laid out in front of him is the tarot cards that he drew, and also two very familiar looking guns with a note attached to one of them.
Okay. That's odd. Does anything else around me look like it's changed since he gave me the vision? Like, there was like nature around me, right? There were like trees or bushes or something.
Yes, looking out, so looking behind you is where the entrance into the mountain was, where the mines are. Looking the other way, pretty much across from where you're sitting, it's all foresty. You can hear the sounds of a river just flowing down. Everything is at a gentle decline slope, so you almost get the sense that you pretty much made it through the mountain and are on the other side of it. But yeah, it is very green, very vibrant, very lush.
Does it look different than when I walked out of the cave?
No.
Okay. Can I examine the skeleton to see if I think that I mean, that can't be him. If that was him, something else would have been different. Something, it would have It takes years and years and years for a dead body to turn into just a skeleton. Can I examine the skeleton?
Sure. Give me a medicine check.
No, that's not going to be good. 8.
So I mean, it's a skeleton. As you go to touch it to kind of examine it and see what's going on with it, the skeleton actually turns to dust at your touch. So it gives you the impression that the skeleton has long been dead.
Okay. The hole where I came out of is still there?
Yeah.
It's okay. Then next I would grab the guns and I would look at the note.
So written on the note in a slanting scrawl, it says, "These were too fine of items to just let fall into the abyss." And it has just in the bottom left-hand corner, just says MIB.
Okay, what a dick. I'm gonna go back into the cave.
Okay. Going back into the cave, it's dark. It takes your eyes a good couple minutes to get adjusted to the darkness. You get about 30 feet into the cave when it just drops off at a sheer cliff. You can see across the way the mine tracks that have broken off, and kind of some are supported a little bit above the abyss, but most of them have broken off and don't reach the other side.
Okay, I'm gonna snap my fingers and summon my 3 balls of fire.
Okay.
I'm gonna send 2 of them over to see if I can see anything on the other side of the abyss.
How
Like, do
far
I
can
see
they go?
as far? Oh, how far do they go?
Yeah.
That's an awfully good question. 120 feet.
So they wouldn't get all the way across to the other side
Okay.
because it was a long trail that you had to get across the chasm.
Okay. Crap. So I can't even see across.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, I wanted to see if I could like see any of the there's no green light or anything that I can see either from like where we saw before what we were running from.
Give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Oh,
because it is
disadvantage.
because you're seeing across the gap where it's not lit up.
But I have my lights.
They don't reach across the gap.
Okay, 15.
It's still good enough. You could see a very faint glow of green coming from where you remembered you entered into this room, but
Okay.
it's a very faint glow.
Okay. I still think that he's messing with me. I think that he placed the skeleton there just to mess with my head. So at this point, I'm not. I mean, obviously, I can't turn back. But even if I could, I wasn't going to. So I will exit the cave and I will look to see if I can find a path in the forest where you say that the cave leads out into.
Sure. As you exit the cave, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana.
Yeah.
17.
Okay. You do definitely get a bit of a twinge from the tarot cards that were laid out.
Oh, the tarot cards. I completely forgot about those. Are all of them there or just the ones that he drew?
They the ones that he drew and laid out. So basically the tarot that he read to you, which I can refresh your memory. So the cards that are laying out are the Wheel of Fortune, the Hangman, Judgment, the Chariot, the Hermit, Strength, Death, and the Tower itself.
Okay. I mean, if I felt something as I was walking past them, then I would pick it up. I would pick them up. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and yeah, screw it. I'll pick them up and I'll put them in my bag.
Okay. Easy enough to do. So as you go and try to find a path, give me a survival check.
Oh, that's not cool. Oh, 12?
You're able to kind of pick your way through the mountainside. After about an hour's walk, you come across a stream that is running down the mountain. Um,
Okay. Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Do I feel like I need to void any waste?
I mean, if you really want to role play voiding waste, I'm still gonna say
I'm
no.
trying to get an idea on how long I was sitting over there. I mean, how long was I out for? That's what I'm trying to basically figure out. If I feel like I have a full bladder, then obviously, Chris, stop looking at me like that. It's been a while.
You feel like you have gotten probably the best night's sleep you have ever gotten in your life.
I
Okay.
really want to see where this is going.
It's not going anywhere. Then I feel like I would ooh, I don't know if I want to test can I check the water before I drink it?
Yeah, give me a nature check.
Non-nat 20.
I mean, this looks like some of the clearest mountain spring water that you have ever seen.
Okay. I am definitely going to start drinking.
Okay. The water is cold. It is extremely fresh. You figure it might be some like snow melt runoff from further up the mountain.
Okay. Um, and it is, if I like, when I look back at the cave
Mhm.
or back at the way that this stream is coming from, it's like mountains all the way up.
Yes.
Okay. Then, and I have not yet seen a path or a trail of any kind.
You have not. Give me
Okay.
a perception check.
Well, okay. If I can't, just as a cursory glance, I would stick with the river or no, it's a 4. It was a nat 1 with a +3. I don't even know this is a stream.
You're in a forest.
Pretty trees.
There's some
pretty
trees. Exactly. Some trees around here.
I mean, okay, so I can't. All right, and it's probably fine because I was asleep for who knows how long. I don't see a trail. I'm going to follow the water. I'm going to follow the stream down.
Okay.
The way that it is actually moving.
Okay. After probably walking for an hour or so, you start to get a scent of salt in the air, and you also start to hear the very faint crashing of waves. Give me another perception check.
11.
Okay. So yeah, you got the crashing of very faint crashing of waves. You have the smell of salt in the air. You would easily be able to surmise that this sounds like it's leading towards like a beach or an ocean.
Around what do I like? Around what time does it look? Where is the sun in the sky?
It would probably be late morning, maybe around 10:30, 11 in the morning.
Okay, so I haven't been walking for that long.
You've been walking for about 3 hours.
It's not days or anything. It's still the same day though. So
nope,
it's
still
not
the same
that
day.
long. Okay. All right. Obviously, I'll go to the beach. I might be able to find.
Okay. As you get a little bit closer, you start to see the beach coming, a little bit clearer. Give me another perception check.
21.
Okay. So as you rise a small hill, you get your first real view of the ocean. You know, it is blue as far as the eyes can see. Waves crash upon the shore. But what really catches your attention are these really strange creatures that you see kind of dotted along the shoreline. They look like they could be lobsters, but they are about the size of a small dog. And as you take a closer look at them, and as you watch them, you see that their two claws are massive. And while they're walking around, they actually hold the claws up to their face as if they were like defending themselves from something. And on the sound, you are on the wind, you actually hear a very faint sound that comes to you that just sounds like "Daddy chick, daddy chum," and then maybe like a minute or two goes by, and then you hear another one, "Did a chalk, did a cho."
How many do I see?
You see a good number of them. They are pretty much scattered out amongst the beach as far as you can see. But one thing, as you watch them a little bit longer, one thing you notice is that they are solitary creatures. There are a good number of them on the beach, but they're not seeming to go near each other. And as you're watching them, you see some of the seagulls kind of flying above the air. Just, you know, it's ocean, there's seagulls everywhere. And as you're watching them, you actually see a seagull kind of go dive to get some food. And one of the lobster creatures that had his claws up like this, faster than you can ever imagine, just reaches out, pinches it, and actually rips it in half before shoveling it into its mouth in one very fluid motion.
Okay, so I'm not going to be stepping on the beach. I will be staying at least along like the tree line, if there is a tree line, or a hill line, since you said I crested a hill. From what I can remember, we, because it's not I, it was the we were traveling to the west. Was that correct?
Yes.
Can I tell which way is west?
The best that you could get following kind of the path of the sun, the west would be pretty much along the coastline. So if you're looking at the coast, like right out in front of you, off to the right would be the west.
Okay. So I'm basically if I'm looking out at the ocean, I'm looking south.
Yes.
Okay. Then I turn to my right and I start walking along the tree line or hill line or whatever it is, making sure that I remain far enough away from the giant bird eating lobsters.
Okay. While you are walking across, give me a stealth check.
18.
Okay. You definitely managed to be able to skirt the lobsters. They're more focused on what they could be getting for food on the beach itself, and not really paying much attention to where you are.
Other than normal nature sounds like the crashing of the waves or wind, or you said these things, I don't know if it came from these things, but I heard this weird talking. I'm going to try as hard as I can to just listen for anything else. I want to like try and remain as aware of my surroundings as I possibly can be.
Give me a perception check.
Yeah, I kind of figured you were going to ask me to do that. That's not the perception. This one is. Mm, 17.
So as you're listening, I mean, you do hear the every minute or so, you do hear a chorus of voices that just kind of repeat some nonsensical phrases. You'll hear like "did a chick, did a chum," and it just kind of goes from one of the creatures to another creature, and it's almost as if they're asking each other questions and just never giving an answer, just asking a question back. And as you are kind of keeping an eye out, keeping an ear out, and just kind of gauging your surroundings, further down the beach to the west, you actually start to see something on it, but you're a little too far to really be able to discern exactly what it is.
Something on the beach?
There is something on the beach, probably a good mile or so down.
Good Lord. Okay. I mean, I'm still not going to get on the beach because I don't want to deal with those lobsters. So I will continue to the west.
Okay. Give me another stealth check.
8.
So as you are walking in the kind of grassy area at the edge of the beach and the mountainside, you do kind of end up kicking a rock and are, just involuntarily just let out a "God damn it." And at that point, you can see two of the lobster creatures just instantly turn in your direction and start scuttling towards you.
How fast do they move?
Their legs are not as fast as their claws from what you have seen.
Well, that's a good thing.
It'll probably take a round or two for them both to get to you, but we're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, crap.
What'd you get?
17.
Okay, you are going first.
I mean, I'll try to do a burning hands and take them both out at the same time. So I'm going to put both my thumbs together, spread my fingers apart, and I will shoot some fire in their direction. I need a dex saving throw.
Give me 2 seconds. One of them got a 17, the other one got an 11.
Okay, I mean, the 17 saved. The 11 didn't. So the 11 would take 14, and then it would be 7 for the one that did save. We rolled 17.
Okay. So first, they're not able to get up to you this round, but they're about, let's see, what's the movement? They're probably about 20 feet away from you at this point. So then at the top of the round, it is back up to you.
How far did I see them move?
They got about 20 feet of movement.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, then I can walk faster than them. So, I mean, I'm just going to continue to move and shoot fire bolts at them.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll move another 20 feet, and then I will throw a fire bolt at one of them. Will it an 11 hit?
No.
Okay.
As they move closer to you, they're still asking the questions, and you see another one is picking up on the sound. and starting to walk at you from the opposite direction.
Wonderful.
So kind of coming up. So you, if you're looking at them, you have another one kind of back and to the right coming up on you.
Right. Okay.
But they are not able to get to you because they're still slower than you.
I mean, even still, now I can't continue to move. So I'll have to do another burning hands at them. So can I have another dex save, please?
Okay. They both failed. Got a 6 and a 7.
So they would both take 13 damage.
Okay. Okay. As they get closer, you didn't move that round, right?
No, there was no point.
Okay. So they get up to you. All three actually managed to get up to you, but we'll handle that in a second. So the first one's going to try and pinch you with its claws. It rolled a 9, so that's going to miss. Second one is going to pinch you with its claws with a 19.
That hits.
So that is 6 points of slashing damage. And the third one, you kind of notice it looks at you, and then it looks at the two lobster creatures that you have already damaged, and it's actually going to attack the one that looks the worst. And you see it kind of scuttle over to the one that looks like it's been badly damaged, and its claws just dig into that thing, ripping it apart, and it just starts eating it. And we are back up to you.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going, well, no, because then I would take a attack of opportunity off of a freaking lobster. I'll throw a firebolt at the same one that I have already hit before.
Okay.
No, it's a 7, so I missed.
Okay. So that one is going to attack you, and it hits. So you take 7 points of slashing damage.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 19 on the die.
Oh, okay. And you said you said 7?
7.
Good Lord. Okay.
And the third one is still just going to town on its friend. Back up to
I
you.
missed again with another firebolt, so.
That one misses. Third one who finishes its meal and looks at the second one and misses. Back up to you.
Nope. Missed again.
18 hits you for 3 damage. And third one misses its friend.
9 to hit, misses. It's 4 misses in a row.
You take another 3 damage. And then the third one hits its friend. And his friend is looking rough. Back up to you.
19 to hit
That'll hit.
for 7 damage.
You have fried another lobster. And the third lobster kind of looks at you and looks back at its friend, and it just starts devouring its friend. I use the term friend loosely. So at this point, it's not even paying attention to you. It is so focused on just eating.
I mean, I'm still going to watch it as I back away from it.
Okay.
But
Yeah. It is just devouring its food.
okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll keep trying to go. Hopefully I can get somewhere at night because I'm probably looking as good as that last lobster was right before I killed it. So
You are able to get away from it. Are you continuing down the beach where you were?
I mean, it's still like late morning, early afternoon. Yes.
Yes.
Then yeah.
Okay. As you get closer, give me another perception check.
9.
That's actually fine because as you have been walking closer and closer, you notice that the thing that you saw on the beach that you could not previously figure out what it is, you notice it actually is looking like a door just on the beach in the sand.
Yeah, because that's normal. I mean, I'm still going to go forward.
So as you get closer and closer, you start to be able to pick up on a couple other details of the door. And you notice that where you start to notice this door doesn't look like it's made out of wood. It actually looks like it's made out of stone. And you actually can kind of make out a little bit of an image on the door itself.
So at this point, I've gotten like exceptionally close to it.
You're probably about 60 feet away from it or so.
At this point, I would probably look for anywhere that I would be able to like hide, or like, is there a cave somewhere or anything?
Give me a perception check.
8.
I mean, you can see kind of up on the like kind of the opposite side from where the water is. You can see some trees, some grassy areas, but no cave, nothing that's jumping out saying hide in me.
Would I be able to find somewhere to make or find enough like branches or big leaves or whatever to make something to where I would be able to rest?
I mean, if you're talking short rest, you could easily just go short rest underneath the tree. Long rest, probably not.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to do a short rest.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll hit dice.
I don't know how to do that.
There should be a button for short rest.
There's a button for short rest. There's not a, I mean, when I did hit dice, nothing happened. So that just means that I'm going to need to do like roll a d6 and add it. I'll leave my last one for when I'm dead.
Yes, Ranson, he did say that.
I mean, what else am I going to use it for? I almost had my ass handed to me by 3 lobsters. Sorry, 2. I mean, at this point, There's nothing else to do. I might take a look at the door on the beach. Why not?
Give me an investigation check.
14.
So as you go and look at it, you see that it is made up of two main types of stone. There's a black stone and a white stone, and they're both kind of swirling in intricate patterns. You notice little gems of onyx dot the white stone and little gems of quartz dot the black stone. On the door, there is the picture that you kind of saw a little bit. Getting a better look at it, it is an image of a woman. She is kind of bent over, petting a lion under the jaw. Above the image is a single word that is carved into the door, into the stone, and it just says strength.
Okay.
And you remember that this image looks nearly identical to the tarot card that the man in black read.
Okay. What other than the shape, is there something that's leading me to believe it's a door?
There is a handle on it.
Okay. I mean,
And
I'll
as you kind of, with that investigation, as you're walking around and just looking at it, because it's very weird that you're finding a door on the beach. As you go behind it, you kind of stop and take a double look for a second, because from the other direction, the door's not there. But then when you step back to where you were in front of it, the door's there, plain as day.
So when I'm walking around it, it disappears, basically.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's normal. I mean, it's a fucking door on a beach, though, so there's nothing normal about it. Okay, sure. So I'll take out the tarot card just to see if there's something different, maybe.
So as you hold the tarot card up in front of the door, you actually kind of see the tarot card glow a little bit, and it starts to get a little warm in your hands.
Okay. Can I touch the door with the tarot card?
Yeah, as soon as you touch the door with the tarot card, you hear a little click.
Oh, I didn't even know what was going to be. I was going to knock first. I mean, I wasn't just going to open the fucking door.
Well, the door is still closed. You just heard a click as if something were being unlocked.
Unlocked, right. And that makes sense. Okay. I'm still going to knock.
I mean, you knock, it's stone, so it doesn't really echo or make much of a noise. It does kind of hurt your frail wizardy knuckles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
No response.
Can I take a look around me to see if anybody is like watching this idiot knocking on a door in the middle of a beach?
You don't see anything around for a while.
I don't even see any more of those lobster things.
Surprisingly, they are not around the area that the door is.
Yeah, that's not surprising. It's because they're smarter than a wizard. Okay. So, well, I've knocked. Nobody answered. There's only one other thing to do. I want to try the doorknob.
As you go to turn the doorknob turns very easily.
Okay. Now this is going to be the best part. I'm going to try inward first. Does it actually move inward?
It does not move.
It's just a pull, not a push. Damn it. Okay, so then I'll open the door.
As you go to open the door, you find that it slides open, like it opens a lot easier than it should. You would expect on the sandy beach that it would get caught with the sand, but no, it slides open smoothly. And it takes you a couple seconds to realize what you're seeing on the other side of the door, where you would expect to just see the beach, pretty much where you were. You actually see into a dimly lit room. Seated behind a desk in the room is a large, imposing figure of a man. The man is leaning forward with his fingers in a steeple in front of his face. He is staring across the desk at a blue-skinned dwarf The dwarf is staring back with a scowl on his face. At the moment, they are just kind of sitting there. The dwarf does look familiar to you, F. You do recognize him as Zoros. And as you are sitting, as you're kind of standing there looking into the door, you actually hear the large imposing man talk, and you just hear this kind of growl of a voice. Says, "You've done well over the past years, Zoros. The feedback I've received from your previous clients has been nothing but glowing. And due to the hard work you put in since I found you after your incident, I'm going to give you your first high-profile job. Do you think you're ready for it?"
No.
If I can find out how to unmute myself, yes. Yeah, I'm good. What's the job?
Good. I'm glad to hear that you're ready for more responsibility. I will leave the details of the assignment up to the client. You are to go to the Fluffy Pantler and ask for
The
Rusty.
what?
The Fluffy Pantler, and ask for Rusty. Do not fail me, Zoros.
Okay.
And as he's sitting there, the large imposing man just kind of waves his hand and dismisses the dwarf from the room.
So before we continue,
Yes.
I'm seeing this playing out in front of me in the doorway.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just going to stand there watching it because I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
Okay.
So Zoros, you have been given your first high-profile assignment. Give me a intelligence check. So just roll a d20 and add your intelligence.
15.
15.
15.
So 15. Yeah. You
Did you add your
know the Fluffy Pantler is a bar that has been notorious for being a front to a lot of criminal activity. You know exactly where it is. You've heard of it before. You may not have actually frequented the bar, but you easily know where it is.
Okay. Well, I guess I start heading. I still get the fluffy what?
Pantler, Pantler. Pantler.
I'm sorry, I can't even say it. Okay, I start heading towards where I think it might be. So sorry, go.
You're fine.
All right.
So as you kind of make your way through the city, you get to kind of the Savior district. And as you get, you end up outside of this bar that looks out of place here. Everything in this area is kind of worn down, is kind of just gross looking, but this bar looks clean. It just looks out of place. And as you actually look, there is a sign hanging above the door that does say the name of the bar in front of it. And it actually has an image of like an antler or a deer, like a deer with a very thick coat of like fur on, as the image for the bar.
Okay. I'm gonna go into the room, find a spot with my back to a wall where I can see the door and the bar and the area, and just kind of observe for a minute.
Okay.
Check it out.
So as you go inside the bar, you hear the sounds of cards being played. It seems to be a very jovial atmosphere. There is a bard who is playing music. It looks like just a lot of people having fun, having some drinks at the bar. As you're kind of watching, you notice that the door seems to be following Zoros. So where you were looking inside of a dimly lit office, you are now looking inside of a very lively bar. You can hear the music coming through, and you see Zoros just sitting in one of the chairs of the tables and just kind of watching but not watching.
So, question: while I was watching all of this play, how did it look to me? I can't understand that.
It looked to you as if you were playing like a third person video game where the door was stationary behind him and it was just following him.
Okay. So I'm always looking at his back.
From what you have seen so far, yes.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm still just going to stand there because it's still like a drug trip and I'm not on drugs. So I'm still just going to wait, see what happens.
Okay.
Damn, there's a guy on here. I was trying to get ammo because I'm out of ammo.
Don't you hate it when you're out of ammo?
You gotta bring it back.
Sorry, you guys need to keep it down.
So Zoros, as you're watching, give me a perception check.
17.
17. So as you are watching the bar, you do notice there are a couple people that seem not necessarily as jovial as the rest of the crowd seems to be.
Okay.
There is a grizzly-looking dwarf kind of in the corner. He has black hair braided down his back, beard reaching his knees, braided in intricate patterns. You see at kind of one of the other tables, you see a sickly-looking elf. Her very pale skin has a slight green tinge to it, but she's sitting at a table just nursing an ale. You can kind of see her fingers trace along the table as if she were like writing something on it with her fingers. You see a thin half orc who is playing cards with some other patrons. And while he's playing, he's not necessarily as wild as the other patrons are while playing. And actually, since you did have that high of a perception check, you actually watching him for a little bit, you see that he's actually cheating at the game. He has cards up his sleeves and he's swapping them so fast that it's really hard to see what he's doing, especially to drunk eyes.
Okay.
And then you also see a human male with black hair and bright blue eyes. He's sitting with some other drunk patrons, and they're just telling loud stories, boasting about who's killed what, who's done who, and they just look like they're having a good time. And then you also see trying to remember. You see another dwarf that has just rust red hair. He has a wild and bushy beard that hangs down past his stomach. And he is sitting at another table in the bar, kind of back in the corner, and his eyes are just trained directly on you.
Okay. Where's the card game in relation to me and the other dwarf? Can I walk by the card table and wander towards the dwarf?
Give me a second and I will show you. Okay. So this is kind of general layout of the tavern. Let me get you real quick. Put you on there. if I can figure out where you are. There we go. Okay, so I think this is what I've always used for you. So we'll say you pretty much came in, so you were seated, we'll say here. The card game is taking place at where this little red dress
Yep,
person
got it.
is. Here is the pale looking elf who is nursing the ale. Here is the other dwarf with the black hair, and I realized I left someone off. So he would probably be at this small table right here with the other drunken patrons.
Okay,
And then this is where the
that's Rusty.
yeah.
Well, what I perceive as Rusty.
Yeah.
All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wander over towards the I'm gonna wander towards the card game, just kind of stroll over and
Okay.
watch. I'm gonna watch the game a little bit. I'm just stand behind the guy who's cheating.
Okay.
Not right on top of him, but closer by. And after the hand is over, whoever won, whatever, I'm gonna whisper in his ear. I'm not gonna say anything, but I saw you do that. And I'm gonna go over and get a beer at the bar.
As you say that and you start to walk away, you just hear a whisper kind of cut through the noise a little bit, and just says it's kind of rude not to talk to the boss when you come into his establishment. And then you kind of turn around to see if it was that guy that actually said it to you. But as far as you can tell, he's still caught up in the game, not even paying attention. And just playing. So you can go get a beer, get an ale, whatever you want.
I'm going to because it looks like I'll go line of sight from my perceived Rusty dude if I go over and have a seat with the pale girl, right?
So if you were gonna have a seat with the pale girl, it would be down here.
Right. But
And then,
am I out of line of sight of him?
No, this is actually kind of a sunken down area right here, the kitchen. It's a
Well, how high is the bar? He can't see me over the bar.
the bar is built by a dwarf in a town that is full of dwarves. So
Okay.
the bar is dwarf height.
Okay. All right. So I said, what you writing?
She actually doesn't even look up at you. She's just still writing on the table with her fingers.
Okay. So I'm going to angle myself so I'm looking towards the door and kind of raise my glass up towards who I perceive to be Rusty.
As you do that, he just kind of gives you a nod.
Okay. I'm going to try to talk to the girl again, see if she will interact at all.
What are you gonna say?
Say, I don't know. Shit, I haven't talked to people in a bar in years. Come here often. I don't know.
She kind of, you hear her kind of laugh a little bit, and it's a very light kind of tinkle of bells laughter. And she looks up at you and says, if you're here for a reason, it's best not to keep him waiting.
Okay. I assume you're referring to Rusty over in the corner there, huh?
She's not even talking to you, looking at you at this point, just back to writing
Goes
on the
back
table
to her
with her
thing.
finger. Yep.
Okay. All right.
You don't have game.
I have no game. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna start wandering towards the guy in the corner that I haven't talked to.
So
I'm
him
just
over
gonna
here.
get a little, yeah, I'm gonna walk on the other side of the card table. I just want to get a look at him. I'm basically assessing the room for threat.
Give me another perception check.
19.
This guy, you can see he is standing there with one hand kind of on the hilt of a sword at his waist, but you know the look in his eyes. It is the exact same look that you have in your eyes at the moment, just constantly scanning the room,
Okay.
ready for any threat that may jump out.
Okay. So I'm gonna wander over towards him, and as I go by, I'm gonna say the guy who's with his back to us at the card table is cheating, and keep walking over to the next guy, again, kind of assessing his body language as I go. But I'm gonna stand on the backside of him so I can kind of see if there was any kind, if the guy starts watching the poker table.
So as you look back at the guy that, I mean, didn't even make any motion towards you as you walked by and said that, you see that he is watching and not watching at the same time. He is just watching everything that is going on
Okay.
and just ready just in case.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my way over to Russ. Actually, I'm gonna grab another beer. I'm gonna wander back over towards Rusty and put one in front of him, have a seat, and say, I did not mean to be rude. I just always like to know what I'm walking into before I meet with a client. How are you, Rusty?
He says that is completely understandable. Just know that there is nothing that happens in this bar that is not known by me. So as long as you are here as my guest, you are perfectly safe.
Well, I appreciate that. I just always like to be careful. That's why you're hiring me, I assume, because I'm careful and I'm good at what I do, right?
I have heard good things about you. And
Wonderful.
I have done some work with Drago before, and he speaks highly of you. And I am hoping that you are willing to take on my task that I have for you.
I'm certainly interested in finding out some general details. And if I'm interested, we can pursue it and we can take it from there.
So he looks, he kind of stares at you for a second and says, well, I see you have met 3 out of the 4 of my, we'll call them my crew, why not? He kind of nods over to the dwarf in the corner that's standing there, and he says, Gondug there is my head of security. He is looking for any sign of danger that may arise. And as Gondug notices Rusty watching him, they both give each other like a little nod. He points, or he kind of nods to the half orc who's playing the cards with the patrons, and he says, that is Thazrul. Thazrul is, well, he's my fingers when I need something taken.
Well, he's good at the cards. I'll tell you, it took a little bit for me to figure it out, but I did.
Trust me, I keep him on for a reason. I don't hire people that aren't worth being hired.
I understand.
And then he kind of nods to the sickly looking elf and says, that is Katir. I would be careful around her. Definitely don't eat or drink around her, because she might be slipping something into your food that you do not want in there. And he says,
and that was the one I sat it with.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not drinking my beer anymore, just so you know.
And then last but not least, he nods to the human male that is sitting with the other drunk patients and says that there is Zero. Zero is good at knowing people. He learns a lot about them and makes sure to report everything that is necessary. But enough about my group. What is going on lately? I believe one of them is betraying me. I don't know who. I want you to find out and take care of it for me.
I'm assuming you mean permanently.
Is there any other way to take care of it?
Okay. Well, then I guess, do they have any idea why I'm here?
They do not. They just know that
Okay.
you are here as a guest of mine.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I can certainly certainly come up with something. See if I can't figure out who it is. Just know that several of these people are going to say that I made comments or innuendos about you, and that's part of my process. So if they do come to you and say that I said something, know that that is me trying to weed through their stuff.
He laughs a very deep and hearty laugh and says, "Trust me, if I believed everything that got to my ears, I would not be sitting where I am. I have
Fair
had
enough.
so many rumors about me throughout my life that I just don't even pay them attention anymore. Most people think that I'm called Rusty because of my beard. That's not the story."
Okay, I'll bite. Where'd you get the Rusty from?
Um, he says, when you look at him with his very wild and very, crazy hair, you notice that part of his hair is kind of covering one of his eyes, and he kind of moves it out of the way, and you see just a red wound that has just never healed properly.
Uh,
He says, I crossed someone and got a rusty spoon to the eye.
Gotcha.
That's why they call me Rusty.
Okay. I can live with that. Well, so as I'm a friend of yours, let's raise our glass and have a drink, although I don't drink.
I wouldn't expect you to on the job,
Okay.
but he downs his ale.
Okay, I put mine down, shake his hand, and let's see, what time of day is it? I assume it's in the evening because I'm in a bar, right?
Correct. It's probably about 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock. What time's the bar close?
Who says the bar closes?
That's good information. All right. You know what? I'm gonna grab a gold piece out of my pouch, go have a seat at the poker table,
Okay.
and see if I can join the card game.
Sure. It looks at this point, there were about 4 people playing. About 2 of them have dropped out. So it's you, Fazrul, and another patron.
Okay.
Fazrul has the cards and he just starts shuffling them, doing a very grand display of shuffling the cards and dealing them out to everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I'm introduce myself and say, well, let's play some cards and proceed to play some poker with these guys or
Sure.
whatever game they're playing.
So what we can do, how much are you betting?
I don't know how much gold I have. Hang on. I don't want to be ridiculous with it. Equipment. Right? Is
Yeah,
that where I find that?
should be.
Uh, I have 30 gold. I'm willing to risk 5
Okay, so
for the night. I'm not dropping 5 on the hand.
okay, how much are you putting on the hand?
I don't know. How do you break gold down? I mean, what
Uh,
are they playing for?
they're
Long and short
playing,
is I want to play for a little while. I don't want to get wiped out in 3 hands and be done. And I'm
they're
willing to risk 5.
it looks like they're playing for probably a gold a hand.
All right.
So what we'll do is we will just go straight rolls. So roll a d20.
Okay.
I'll roll 2, 1 for each player, and we
17.
will go from there. As you play for that hand, you try and read the faces.
Right.
The other player uh, is very drunk and very sloppy with his card playing. He folds instantly. Fazrul, you could see, is a little bit more together, and he actually lays down a card, a hand that is actually better than yours, and sweeps the gold into his pockets and says, better luck next time.
Okay. Well played.
I've been playing
But-
quite a long time.
Yeah, I can tell. You're exceptionally good at your at shuffling.
It's not hard to shuffle the cards. You just got to mix them together.
Yeah.
Are we playing
Let's
again?
play again.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
14.
As the cards are dealt, you actually end up with the better hand this turn, so you do gain 3 gold.
Okay. And one more hand.
Sure.
18. Whoa. I'm going to Vegas.
Give me a perception check.
What is that? Can't see it.
16.
16 plus, I think I have perception somewhere. That's abilities and scores, right? Is that what it is, Kev?
Yeah,
Where's it? No, that's
it's a
not it.
+3.
Okay, so 19.
19. So you notice as you're playing, he actually pulls a card out from his sleeve and lays out a hand in front of you that is beating your hand.
Okay, if I'm watching and I catch it, I'm snap my hand out as quick as I can and grab his hand as it's going to his sleeve.
Go ahead and give me a
I cannot see these types.
17.
athletics check, sure.
17. Let me see if I have athletics skills. Yes, +4, 21.
You go to grab him, but he is a little bit faster than you. His hands
You
don't
bitch.
make it into the pocket to grab the card, but he is very aware of what you did and what you tried to do.
Okay. So when he sees that I saw it, does he still play the card?
No, he doesn't. He's just kind of smiling at you. And
Okay.
he lays his hand out, and his hand was not as good as yours, so you got another 3 gold.
Okay, so I'm up 5, right? Because I was
Yes.
down, I
Yep.
lost 1-3, 1-3. That's up 5, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna look at him and say, you know,
Let her come in.
I don't mind playing cards, but I don't like getting played. So I think I am done with this game. However, you and I are not done with this game. We need to talk.
Give me a persuasion check.
Ooh, that's probably not good. Jeez. Is that 15?
Yep.
15, but I don't think I'm very persuasive. As
He
far as-
kind of laughs and looks at the cards and says, "This is the game. If you want to talk, you can talk here."
Okay. Look at the drunk guy across and say, I think it's time that you pack up what you got and head on out.
Oh, he easily packs up and leaves because he gets the sense from the two of you that some shit's about to go down and he does not want to be a part of.
Okay. And I just say, how long have you been working with Rusty?
Been with him for probably the past 5-6 years.
You know, Rusty and I go way back. We've been his lineage is from the same area as mine. We've come across each other many times. I'm
Give-
surprised. I'm surprised that he wants you cheating his friends at cards.
Give me a deception check.
Is that 13?
Yep.
13.
He
Perception.
takes a very deep.
I have
and-
+3 though.
No, for a deception, not perception.
Oh, damn it.
Deception, you're at a -1.
Yes, I am.
He does just a very deep laugh and just says, if you're a friend of his, why is this the first time that you have ever set foot in this establishment?
Why? Because I've been traveling. I've been all over the country.
Yet you run into him multiple times. Rusty lives and breathes this bar.
Yes,
If
but
you
he
knew
wasn't born
him,
here.
You would.
He
be-
wasn't born here. Do you know how old dwarves live?
Yeah.
I've lived a full lifetime of your time.
Do you know how old half orcs live?
I don't, but
You're showing
I
your
will tell-
ignorance. Said you're showing your ignorance.
So you're a smartass too. I like that.
Rusty doesn't keep me around just because I'm pretty.
No, but you need to be a little faster. If I can catch your movements, I'm sure other patrons have.
Yeah, most of the patrons here are drunk anyways.
Yeah. I'd imagine your buddy in the corner kind of keeps an eye out for you so you don't get your ass kicked, huh?
Oh, we all look out for each other.
Yeah, figured. Well, fair enough. I think I'm going to take my 5 gold and go grab myself another soda at the bar.
Sure.
You want anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I like to stay of sound mind while playing.
Lucid. Got it. All right. So I go, I grab just a water this time.
Okay. And as you can see, as you leave and kind of the air is kind of calmed down a little bit, other people come in and start to play cards with him as well. Then as soon as
Okay.
another game is just up and running.
Got it. So I'm going to, since I do have a beverage and it is just water, I'm going to go back to my stunning beauty in the corner.
The one up here.
No, not her, not him,
Or
her.
her. Okay. Okay. She is still sitting at the table, still just kind of drawing things with her fingers.
So Rusty tells me you're quite good with, shall we say, specialty items as far as food and beverage goes.
You see a little smirk kind of cross her mouth a little bit, and she says, "I've known
Devil?
to dabble a little bit."
I knew a druid not far from here who used to trade in rare herbs. Is that something that you've ever gotten involved in?
Maybe here and there, depends on what I'm looking to make.
There you go. Have you ever worked with coatings, swords, weapons, bullets?
I tend to not deal in that primitive of areas. Mine are more covert, where you wouldn't even know that you had something in you until you were pretty much puking out your guts.
Got it. I like it. I would imagine you've developed quite an immunity of your own.
Well, let's just say I didn't start out this green color.
Yeah, kind of picked up on that. So, how long have you known Rusty for?
Rusty and I go back about 15 years.
50 or 15?
15, 1-5.
Nice. How'd you meet him?
Well, some of my exploits have gotten to his ear and he thought he could use some help, so he
Interesting.
hired me on. Money's been good, so why not?
Oh, yeah. Looks like you got your own table and everything.
Mhm.
And so you enjoy the work?
More than you could possibly imagine.
Excellent. Well, I might have some work for you if you're interested. Rusty said I could count on you, so I'm hoping that I might be able to do some work with you. I slip her a gold. One of my gold that I won from the poker game.
She slides it back and says, keep this for when you really need it.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, so I'm gonna raise my glass, smile at her, and wander over to our bodyguard in the corner. As I go though, actually, where's the lighting in the bar?
There are kind of torches all along the wall. There's
Okay, as I go, I
a
walk by the
candle.
torches and look in my drink to make sure it's still the clear water that was in there before.
Still looks like clear water.
Good. Okay, go up to my guy in the corner. Say, you're really good at your job. Rusty tells me you're in charge of security here. I can see this is going very, very well. You know that he hired me, right? It's a hard no, huh? Sorry, don't want to step on your toes, but I think I'll be joining you in watching our little band of merry men here. Surely you don't have a problem with that, do you?
I mean, this whole time he's not even looking at you. His eyes
I know.
are constantly scanning the bar.
Okay. Of course, the problem with being a dwarf is I can't get up in his face and stare at him.
Well, he's a dwarf too.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
All right, so I see him right in front of him. Literally right in front of him.
He takes a step to the side.
Follow him.
He meets your eyes for the first time, and these are eyes that have seen and done a lot. And he just kind of looks at you and says, would you mind moving so I can do my job?
Not at all. I just wanted to find out if you were mute. Now that I know, good to know.
I can't protect people when someone is trying to distract me.
No, I hear you. However, I know I've been in the business a long time, and I know that you can listen and talk and still watch. Very simple.
I can, I just don't like to.
I hear you. Fair enough, man. Well, listen, I'm going to be around the bar for a little bit. So, if I can help you in any way, just let me know. I got your back if anything goes down.
Yeah.
And so I go over to my human buddy.
As soon as you go over there, he is like, you could tell he's super happy to have someone new kind of come over, and he's like, "Oh yeah, come on, we're just telling stories, having some fun. You got to have seen some weird shit. Tell us the weirdest shit you've ever done."
You know, I'll be honest with you. The weirdest story that ever happened was the first time I realized I had special abilities. And I tell 'em my story of the bar in with the girl, but I stopped short of anything about my history or
He's like,
my anything more
"Wow,
than that.
that is an amazing story. Wow, can't
Your
believe
turn.
you managed to survive through that." Um, you can see as soon as you say that, he kind of turns the story, or like turns the attention of the story in onto one of the other patrons, and is like, "Hey Joe, you remember that time that you and Bob fought the what was it? What was it?" And he is just such a charismatic person that the other two people sitting around the table just start picking up the story and just like building on it and expanding it to something that is just so much bigger than it ever would have been if it was just one person telling it. Um, give me a perception check.
Not my best. I missed something. 4
Okay.
plus 3.
You just got caught up in the story of the other two people and just trying to see where the bullshit really came to. And when you look around, Ciro's no longer at the table.
Damn it. Okay. Well, after I hear the end of their story, I wave and say, I'm gonna go say goodnight to my new boss, and I'll catch you guys later.
Okay. I mean, they're
And-
still so caught up in their drunken revelry that they're not.
Okay, so I wander over to Rusty. Say, hey, I got a quick question for you. Did you see what happened to what was it, Ciro?
Ciro.
Did you see where Ciro went?
No, I saw him leave the bar, but he might be going to meet some other gather some intelligence. I haven't sent him on any particular mission, but it's not like the four
What's
of
his
them
job
are.
for you?
Well, I'm sure after sitting around with him at the table, you've learned that he can get people to talk.
Gotcha.
He is the one that gathers all the information and tells me what's going on.
Where does he hang out?
Mostly around here.
Okay.
Um,
Can I track?
are you asking Rusty or are you asking me?
You, I'm sorry. Question for the DM. Can I track?
You can give me a survival check.
Man, it must be getting late. I got a 7. Shit.
Ben, as you're watching this, give me a perception check.
$14.
Okay. So Eth, from what you've seen, like you saw Ciro get up and leave the bar and head off towards the left. And for you, this is kind of a weird experience because it's probably close to midnight there, but for you, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a very weird experience to be watching something at night while it's not nighttime for you.
Wonderful. That's not going to be awkward at all. Okay.
Okay. So I guess I say I'm gonna go get some fresh air and want stretch my legs a little.
Says okay.
I head out of the bar
Sure.
and I don't know what's out there.
It is just the city at nighttime. A lot of rundown buildings, warehouses, just not a, pretty much any typical not good neighborhood.
I'm not sweating that, but okay, so and I don't see any logical path to follow.
You give me another survival check.
What is this? A 13 or 19?
19.
19.
As I say, you almost blew all your good rolls on the cards.
Yeah.
You
I
do
thought I
see-
rolled a 13. Glad I had Andrea check.
You do see a fresh pair of tracks going off to the left.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. I know I'm not a rogue character, but I'm gonna do the best I can to stay to shadows, low profile, track best I can the footprints.
Okay. Give me another survival check to see if you can keep on the path.
18.
Okay, you are easily able to follow as the path seems to wind through a bunch of buildings in the warehouse district. Give me another
Okay.
one.
That one's a 14.
Okay, still it's getting a little bit harder to see the footprints, but you still think you're on the right track. And one last one.
Oh, come on. 12.
As you turn a corner, you see Ciro standing there talking to a shadow. From where you are, where you ended up finding him, it's not at an angle where you could see who he's talking to.
Is there any way for me to get closer without being noticed?
You can give me a stealth check.
Well, shit. Oh, oh no, that's a 10. I thought it was an 18. 10. It's a 10,
I
right?
mean, you don't make any big noises. You're able to kind of sidle up along one of the walls, and you can listen in, and you hear Ciro in very hushed tones, basically saying that it's going to happen in 3 days' time. You need to make sure you're ready and that no one leaves.
Then no one what?
Leaves.
Okay. And that's Ciro said that, or the guy said it?
Ciro said that.
All right. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit tight for a minute, see if they say anything else. If they don't and they go their separate ways, I'm gonna follow Ciro.
Okay. After probably another couple minutes of some hushed whispering, you do see they kind of leave. Ciro leaves. The person in the shadow kind of goes back down the alleyway. Still not really getting a good view of who it was. But you see Ciro just kind of walk his way, kind of winding through the city again.
Okay. Where's he stop?
You see he stops at a house, very unsuspecting. He goes in and closes the door behind him.
Okay. I'm gonna sit outside since I can see in the dark. Can I see any movement in the house?
No,
The windows or whatever.
Shades are drawn. It does seem very quiet in the house.
Okay. I'm gonna circle the house, see if there's a if there's other entrances.
These houses are it's kind of built up next to each other. There is an alley that kind of splits the houses from each other, but doesn't seem to be any backyards, just house after house after house.
Okay, I'm gonna watch the house for an hour. See if anything happens. By then it should be about what, 1 o'clock?
Probably upwards of 2:33.
Okay.
With scouting and finding him.
Okay.
You wait. It's very quiet on the neighborhood.
Okay, I'm gonna head back to the bar. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the bar and talk to Rusty.
Okay. As he sees you come in, I mean, he gives you a nod.
And I come over to him and I say, "You've got a good security guy. I like him. I think he does a good job. He's got a good focus. The young lady who does your poison dispatches, also a little odd, but seems like a nice lady. I'm not a big fan of your card shark, but I see his purpose. What I'm not following, though, is the master manipulator. I followed him. Found his tracks, followed him out of the bar. He met with a guy in the shadows. I didn't know. I couldn't see a face, but I did notice that he was talking to Ciro, and he said it's going to happen in 3 days' time. Make sure they don't go anywhere.
As you mentioned the 3 days time, you could see Rusty's scowl get even deeper. He kind of nods at you and he motions for Gondug, the dwarf security guy, to come over, and he comes over, and Rusty just says, "Would you mind going and getting Ciro for me, please?" Gondug just nods and walks out the door. And he looks back at you and says, "We had some business that we were going to partake in 3 days' time, and it does not bode well that Ciro was talking about this. So we're just going to wait here and just check something."
Sounds good.
After about 20-30 minutes, you can see Ciro is let in by Gondug. Ciro looks kind of sleepy, as if he had just been roused from sleep. He's still wearing like his bed clothes, stuff like that. And Rusty looks at Ciro and just stares him down. Says, "I hear you've been talking when you shouldn't have been." And Ciro's like starting to get panicked. No, I didn't say anything. I didn't, trust me, Rusty, I would never sell you out. I didn't say anything. And Rusty just holds up his hand. "There are consequences to your actions." And he looks over at you, Zoros. "Zoros, it seems your mission is at hand. Execute the traitor."
Okay, question for the DM.
Yes.
I realize that this has been, up until we started this, I was dead.
Yes.
What part of I'm assuming this is a career situation when I was with the conglomerate, correct?
Yes, this is basically kind of diving into a little bit of your backstory.
Right. So my question is this the Dark Tower me right before I died, or is this the me that was doing what I was supposed to be doing?
This is the you that was doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Okay, I take justice and I crack him on the head.
You see as Gondug holds Ciro out, and Eth, you can definitely see and hear all of this happening. You see Zoros just grab his warhammer and just leaves a dent in Ciro's head, at which point the body goes limp. And Rusty looks at you and gives a very light clap. It's good to see that you can do what you're told. Now, unfortunately, this is not over. We need to send a message. I can't have people betraying me and talking when they should not be talking. Who knows who Ciro has told about my going on? Your real mission is to send a message. You need to annihilate his family.
His family.
So you want me to find the guy he talked to and take out the entire, all semblance of,
No. You're taking out all memory of Ciro.
oh,
Ciro's family.
Ciro's family.
I cannot have any loose ends here.
I
That is your
understand.
mission.
Okay. It's going to take me some time, but I will get to work.
No time like the present. I'm sure
I know
you've
that.
seen where he lives.
Fair enough. I start heading towards the bar door.
Okay.
Am I going alone?
Are you asking for help?
No, I'm not asking for help. I'm just wondering if I'm being followed by a security guard.
No. He's gone back to his
Post.
corner, and you've seen some bar workers come out and drag Ciro's body off of the floor and start cleaning up a little bit.
Okay. So I am living my backstory right to the time where I quit the conglomerate. Because this is what I said I wouldn't do. This was the bar I wouldn't cross. So I, as I leave, I head back to wherever I had come from, wherever my base of operations was. And
So going back
I,
towards Drago.
yeah,
Okay. I mean, getting back there, you know the place like the back of your hand. People greet you as you come in.
okay. And I go to Drago and I say, you know, I've done everything you've asked of me. I've been loyal and I've done absolutely everything. I've done dirty work. I've done clandestine work. I've done security details. But there's a line I have to draw. I've been asked to take out an entire family, and I am not the person to do that. I cannot kill women and children. It's just not who I am. I cannot do it.
He takes a very just a very long look at you, and you can see kind of a sense of sadness cross his face, and he starts shaking his head and says, I wish it could have gone any other way. And he lets out a piercing whistle.
Can I shoot a firebolt through the door?
You can try.
I'm going to aim my finger right at the dude.
Okay.
Okay. If I remember how. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. No, 8. Crap.
So as you point your finger at the door and you gather the arcane powers to do your firebolt, you see the spell leaves your finger, but as the fire reaches the door frame, it just kind of slides up and just dissipates.
Okay.
And you hear a piercing whistle as 7 dwarves run in with warhammers and surround Zoros.
I'm gonna jump through the door.
Okay. Zoros, as you are standing there, you got surrounded by the 7 dwarves with warhammers, and all of a sudden you see this scrawny human appear as if from nowhere. Everyone is looking around, and even Drago is like, what the fresh fuck is this?
Why does it have to be scrawny? That's not right.
Hey,
Um,
he works out, sorta, sometimes.
And as you're looking around and you're assessing the situation, you can actually still see the door behind you. It is open. You see the beach scene, but it just, no matter where you look behind you, it is always there. And Zoros, as he appears, you're seeing something that's just not adding up in your mind. You know that you are in a dwarven town in a mountain. It's 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but yet you look behind you and there's an afternoon beach scene. You can actually smell the salt in the air. You can hear the crashing of the waves. It just looks like it looks like there is a door that's just leading out to a beach behind you.
And that's where Eth came from?
That seems to be, that is kind of where general area where he came from. And with
Okay.
that, we can roll initiative.
14.
Eth, what'd you get?
17.
Yeah, all my guys got horrible, so.
Good.
Okay, so Eth, you are going first.
Can you give me a layout of the room?
So this room, it is maybe 20 feet wide by 30 feet long. At the there's a door on the back wall that you saw Zoros come into, and all the dwarf guards ran into. Sitting along the wall opposite the door is the desk that Drago is currently sitting behind. There are a couple of chairs, scattered here and there. It looks like a typical just kind of office room where Drago conducts his business.
Okay. There's me, there's Zoros, there's, you said Dragos.
Drago
and then there are 7.
7 dwarves. Each
How
of them
many of them are
holding
within
warhammers.
15 feet of me?
Where you are, since you would be pretty much where Zoros was, since the door was following Zoros, they're pretty much all surrounding you as well as Zoros.
I am going to do a thunder wave. So a 15-foot, basically it's a cube around me where just a gigantic push of energy happens. I'm going to spin my spell around Zoros so that way he does not get harmed by it. And I'm going to need just however many of them can do a con save for me.
Okay, and what do they need to
Oh
be?
no, not a constitution save. Dwarves have +4.
I mean, it's the one thing that I would do. I would try to do though.
What's the DC?
What did you roll?
What's the DC?
My DC is low. I'm only level 3, so you only have to roll a 13.
Okay. Drago seems to make it, but all of the other dwarves are just kind of flung back from the thunder wave and land prone on their back. How much
And
damage?
they take 16 damage.
16? Okay.
If he was Dragos, if he was within 15 feet of me, he would also take 8. It would take half as much. He just wouldn't get thrown back.
Yeah.
Is there a stun or anything associated?
They are knocked prone because they're knocked back and knocked prone. So now
So they lose a
all of-
turn.
I mean, pretty much their movement would be spent getting up, but they are currently all on their back. After
Okay.
being knocked up.
So let me ask a question for the DM. Do I know Eth?
You do not recognize him.
Okay. So I take it, does Drago have initiative on me or do I go next?
You go next, Soros.
Okay, I look at Eth and say, we got to get out of here. And I grab his arm and run towards whatever door thing there's there.
Running towards the beach.
Mhm.
Okay. The beach is
Dragging
only
Eth
about-
along with me.
What's your movement?
It's not great, I don't think. Where do I find that? I'm sorry.
Your speed.
Actions, abilities.
No, I think it's by your armor class.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 25.
Okay. So
Okay,
you can see it.
Yeah, I can. So you are still able to drag him along. Eth, are you letting him drag you along?
Well, yeah, I know this idiot who just got fucking surrounded by 7 goons.
So you turn around and you grab him, and I mean Eth doesn't weigh a lot, so it's not like you can't carry him.
I'm scrawny, remember? You better stop laughing. I can see you laughing.
But you pick him up and you run towards the door, and it's a very odd situation. In 1 second, you are in the dark, 4 o'clock in the morning. Next thing, you feel sand in your feet. You feel the sea air breezing, and as you jump through the door, you hear a loud slam behind you, and the door is closed.
And at which point I say, what the fuck is going on?
Who are you?
What do you mean, who am I?
Thank you.
I'm
All I can say is thank you for getting me out of there. Those dwarves are trained killers. We would not have survived that.
I mean, you might not have been able to survive that, but I'm pretty sure I would have been fine.
Hey, you're pretty scrawny, dude. I carried you through the door.
That is true. You did. But no, seriously, dude, I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I'm so confused right now. My brain is not working correctly.
You're confused. I was about to get killed by my boss. I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, I'm surprised you actually went back there with not thinking that that's exactly what was going to happen.
What do you mean?
I mean, you worked for, basically, you were a mob. You worked for a mobster and you were going like, oh, I quit. Mobsters don't leave behind people who just quit. They kill them off.
Excuse me? They weren't mobsters.
I mean,
I did a lot of good jobs. I protected a lot of very important people. I just ended up with a bad client.
that one client, and that one client was all that it took to make your boss want to basically murder you.
I guess I don't understand it either.
Holy Jesus. And you don't know who I am.
Should I?
You should. Yes, we spent a very meaningful 2 days together. I really don't know how long it was. I don't know how long it was between meeting in Toll and
It was probably a good week or two.
We spent a very meaningful week or two together. I mean,
Did we
recently, as far as I'm aware, it's a lot of shit going on all at once. I don't know.
So, Zoros, as you came through the door, you started getting a lot of weird thoughts and memories in your head. You're at this point, your head is pounding because you remember, as time's going on and as you're talking with F, you remember Toll, you remember Roland, you remember destroying pretty much the city of Toll, you remember Jake in the way station, you remember the mines, and you remember dying. But you're here and you're alive. And those two realities just don't seem to match up. And it is just, your head is just pounding because you're dead, but you're alive. How is that possible?
And though the guns weren't Zoros's, right? It was, I want to say, didn't, oh crap, Camel Toe and one of the other people had one of them.
Hamilton and Zoros had the guns.
Oh, it was Zoros? You
Yes.
had one? Okay, so then if I remembered Camel Toe and Zoros had one of them, I would take out the one that was Zoros's. And I'd be like, this was yours, right?
And as he's holding out the gun to you, the gun looks, it's a familiar gun. You know that gun. You were the one that took it from Roland's body. It is a very familiar gun to you.
Where did you get this?
It was lying at my feet after I woke up from the man in black basically showing me some vision.
Wait,
And
you
I'm
got
gonna go
across the
through-
bridge?
Yes.
Who else made
I
it?
will, nobody.
Where
You
are they?
all died. It's me, and now you.
How did you find me?
There was a door on the beach. It's very confusing. And there were lobsters that almost killed me.
That's because you're scrawny.
I know. That's
Where
what I've
are
been
they? Let's
told.
go get a snack. I'm hungry.
Trust me, I wanted to, but then another one showed up and just like ate its friends in like 2 bites. But I will go through my entire story, tell him everything that I saw during my vision, tell him everything that the man in black told me, including showing him the cards, the other gun that was Camel Toe's, the basically everything.
I'm sorry, Hamilton. I'm sorry.
That's what the rogue told me his name was. I mean, I don't know who Hamilton is. It's Camel Toe.
Sure, blame it on Ranson.
So yeah, you tell him the whole story of everything that happens. Zoros, you hear from pretty much down the coast, you hear the calling of the lobstrosities, saying "Dad chick, dad chum," and just answering each other.
Okay, so
someone-
go ahead.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think we should, since we found me in our story, I guess, we should look for other doors.
I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. Maybe we'll come to 5 more doors. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. What were you going to say, DM?
I was gonna say, someone give me a perception check.
I think you're more perceptive.
I got a nat 20.
That's
Okay.
pretty damn perceptive.
As you are looking down the beach away from the lobstrosities, you actually do see another shape on the door or on the beach that looks a little familiar.
and then I will get down on my knees and I will point, and I'll be like, "Can you see that all the way down there?"
Yep.
No, nope, you can't. You already
No, I
messed it up.
cannot. I'll take your word for it. So you're telling me these lobsters are bad news, huh?
Dude, I'm telling you, maybe not for you, but for apparently scrawny ass wizard like me, yes, these lobsters are bad news. They
All right.
hurt.
So is there a way to walk around the lobsters?
I mean, I stuck to the tree line mostly, but they can see, so they were able to, come up and actually try and kill me.
Okay.
So
Well,
I mean, if you
let's,
want,
Let's get back on the edge and let's start working our way down towards whatever you think you saw at the end of the beach.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe we can find something in the like in the woods. I'm tired. I mean, a lot has happened, even though not a lot has happened. Maybe we can find some food and some shelter and something though.
Okay. As you start walking towards the where F pointed out, you are able to kind of find some rocks away from the beach that would be up more in the foresty area that you'd be able to kind of get a little camp around and take a long rest.
I will knock my ass out. I'll smack my own self just to get so I can get some good sleep.
Eth, do
Yeah.
you think we should take turns watching?
No.
You
I
said the
think we need
lobsters were
rest.
bad news.
They were, but at this point, it's just the two of us, and I'm afraid that if we stay up, we're just going to be too exhausted to do anything tomorrow morning.
All right. All right.
Okay. You guys are able to take a long rest. The night passes without incident, and we will pick it up from here in a couple weeks.
Woo!
So thanks everyone for joining.
That was fun.
Even if you didn't get to play tonight, thanks for hanging out and listening.
Making fun of the
Hamilton.
scrawny ass wizard. Dude, I'm telling you, that is what Chris said your name was the first night. That's what my character think your name is. You are Camel Toe. And unfortunately, Azair is Zazair.
I think I said ass fire and camel toe.
Good God, I'm Hamilton.
So everyone that was watching on Twitch, thank you for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
It was fun.
So, yeah.